Hello, what's going on here? This is very unusual. Did you miss me yesterday? Did you miss my presence yesterday? I wasn't here. I know. Oh my goodness, look outside. It is very windy outside my window right now. If you haven't already guessed, I am in the studio. Yes, we are all together once more, live as live can be. It is English Addict Live, episode number 70. Can you believe it? Even though it says 69 on my screen. I will put that right in a moment. Here we go again. Were you expecting to see me so quickly? I have a feeling you weren't. That was interesting. Sometimes when you press a button, sometimes when you press a button on your screen, something completely different happens. And that's what happened just. In fact, I don't know why. Let me just see if I can put this right. Come on, Mr. Duncan. You're a professional. You can do this. I know I can. I know I can do this. I have the technology right in front of me. It is episode 70. There it is. We've done it, finally. Hello, hi everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I have missed my echo. Can we have my echo? Are you happy? I really, really hope so. Here we are again. Yes, it is another live English Addict. We are back to our usual Sunday, Wednesday and Friday for those who don't know. So that is when you can catch me on YouTube from now on. Sunday, Wednesday and Friday. It is so nice to be back with you once again. It was really strange yesterday. Isn't it weird sometimes? Sometimes you get into a routine of doing something. So yesterday morning when I woke up, I actually thought I had a live stream to do on the internet. But I didn't, because I've stopped doing my daily live streams have now stopped. A lot of people have said, oh, Mr. Duncan, please don't. But unfortunately, there are some other things that I'm having to do at the moment. So suddenly I've become very busy again doing things. So that is why I'm not doing my live streams every day. A couple of things I've noticed. I haven't got my water. I have no water in the studio. And as you know, my studio is quite often very hot because there are lots of things around me creating heat in the studio. Oh, hello to the live chat as well. A lot of things going on today. Oh my goodness, I don't know where to start. I suppose I could start by saying welcome. It's Sunday. I'm just getting my water. Please bear with me a moment. Oh, yes. Sweet, sweet bliss. Now I have my water, I am a happy man. If there's one thing you need when you are broadcasting, especially if you are doing it for a very long time, you do need some water. And I didn't have any, but now I do. Sweet, sweet H2O. When we say something is sweet, it doesn't always mean that the taste is sweet. It doesn't always mean that. Sometimes a thing that is sweet can be much needed or something that is valued, or something that you desire very much, or maybe something that you really treasure very much. At the moment, I really treasure this glass of water because I'm in my studio. It's about 90 degrees in here at the moment. It is very hot, I've just realised, in the studio. Ah dear, what a way to start the day. Hello to Jimmy. Oh, hello Jimmy. You are first on today's live chat. Well done to you. Have you been watching my daily live streams? I did 43 days of live streams without any break. And yesterday, as I said yesterday, I really thought I was still doing my live stream yesterday, but I wasn't. I wasn't doing it at all, even though it felt like it. Yesterday we went into town and I was surprised. I'm going to be honest with you. I was surprised by how many people there were in town yesterday walking around. Many people very close to each other. I didn't stay in town very long. We just bought some bread and tea cakes, and then we got the heck out of there as quickly as we could. Thank you, Jimmy, for joining me. Also, we have Mohsen as well. Hello, Mohsen. Nice to see you on the live chat as well. We are back here once again on Sunday. It is the 10th of May, 2020. A lot of people today celebrating Mother's Day around the world. So if you are celebrating your mother, or if you are celebrating the day dedicated to mothers around the world, can I say Happy Mother's Day wherever you are watching at the moment. And here in the UK, we have our Mother's Day on a different day, to be honest, a very different day. But anyway, Happy Mother's Day if you are celebrating Mother's Day today. Hello also to Grace Chin. Thank you very much for joining me today. Also Partridge. Mr. Duncan, do you know that you have great patience? I do. I really do. If there's one thing I've learned over the past 14 years doing this on YouTube, you need a lot of patience. You need to stay cool, even when things are going completely wrong. So from time to time, you do have to keep your head. You have to make sure that you don't lose your cool, even when people around you are losing theirs. So that is one of the things about doing this. You have to make sure that you stay cool, calm all the time, or else you can't really do this very well, to be honest. A lot of people ask, Mr. Duncan, how do you become a live streaming presenter? Is it easy? My answer is no, it is not. It is not easy to do. That's why not many people do it, really, when you think about it. Hello, Yasia. Hello, Sergio. Hello to Maria. Oh, Maria. I'm saying hello to Maria. Oh, I've missed my echo. I really have. Hello also to Kaylin, who says it is Mother's Day. Yes. If it is your Mother's Day, can I say hello to your mother? A lot of people are remembering their mothers. Some people are not lucky enough to have their mothers around anymore. My mother at the moment is being cared for in isolation, and I can't go to see her. So I'm really looking forward to the day when I can go to see my mother and say hello, face to face, in person. There is no substitute for seeing someone for real, especially a person who you love or care for or treasure. There is no substitute. You can't replace that feeling. So I'm really looking forward to seeing my mother in person, for real. I'm really looking forward to that. Hello to Peter, hello, Luis Mendez. Oh, Luis Mendez is here today. I'm back in the studio so I can use my little echo. I've missed my echo. My echo, I have missed you so much. I really have. I have, very much. Hello, Annie Corn. Hello also, Sunshine. Mr. Duncan, you are late. What is happening to the voice? What is happening to my voice? I don't know. I hope I sound all right. I must admit I did connect some of my equipment in a hurry today. I was rushing around. I don't know why. Sometimes time will just disappear. I don't know why. Sometimes it appears as if you have lots of time, and then suddenly that time has disappeared. Hello also, Mika. Hello to Mika. Guess what? Last night I did something that I haven't done for a long time. I actually went onto Periscope. And I used to watch Periscope quite a lot because sometimes there are some interesting people around the world talking about their lives. However, over time I noticed that the standard of people on Periscope was going down quite quickly, to the point where it was very hard to find anyone decent to actually watch. If you get my meaning, if you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. However, yesterday I went on Periscope, I had a spare moment of time, and I found the most amazing creator, a wonderful publisher on Periscope. And he is in Japan. And he walks around with his phone live streaming, of course. That is what Periscope is all about. You go on there and you live stream to the world. And this guy was very interesting. I found myself watching his live stream for quite a long time, which is unusual for me because sometimes I have a very low boredom threshold. So quite often I will click around, and then if I find something I like, I will stick with it. I will stay with it and watch it. I will watch it for a while. So this guy was in Japan and he was walking around a local park and he was showing all of the wonderful flowers and even some of the insects as well. He was talking to a caterpillar. This gives you an idea of the sort of thing I like watching on the internet. And he was watching this caterpillar going about his life. This little caterpillar was just walking around and he was talking to it and describing what it was doing. And I found it really lovely and charming. So I can't remember his name now. I think it's a nice guy. I'm sure his name is a nice guy, all one word. But I was fascinated by it, and he had this most gorgeous, soothing voice. His English, by the way, was amazing. That is the other thing that I was blown away by. He had the most amazing English. His English and the way he was describing everything was fantastic. So I was really drawn into his live stream. So that is what I was doing yesterday, a moment of time that passed. However, it was a very useful, valuable moment of time. Hello, Christine. It's a pleasure seeing you again. Thank you very much. We have, coming up today, yes, we have something to do. Don't worry. We have an excerpt from one of my full English lessons to give you an idea of the sort of thing I like doing here on YouTube. And yes, I am going to make some new lessons. So coming up, as the weather gets better, even though unfortunately today, have you seen the weather outside? It's absolutely awful. It looks quite nice there. I will be honest with you. On that shot, the view looks nice. However, it's very windy And it's also very cold outside as well. So that's the reason why I am indoors. However, it is quite windy today, quite rough. I think the word I'm looking for is rough. It is quite turbulent outside. So that's the reason why I'm inside. But I will be making some new English lessons, recorded lessons. And I will be making some more full English lessons. So that is a series of lessons where I talk about lots of different subjects in the English language. Also today we have the sentence game as well. It's the sentence game, the sentence game, the sentence game. Play along at home. It's the sentence game. However, today we are going to do something a little different with the sentence game. Today I am going to give you replies to questions. So what you have to do is ask the question. You have to work out what the question is based on my answer. So I'm going to give you replies to a question. And what you have to do is guess what the question is. What is the person asking me for? What is the person asking me to do? You see? So when you ask a question, quite often it is in the form of a request, something you want. Maybe you need some information. Maybe you want to ask a favour from another person as well. Many ways of doing it. So we will be playing the sentence game, but it will be different today. We are doing it in a slightly different way. And of course, he is coming our way a little bit later on. Yes, he will be here with us once again. You know what I'm talking about. Mr. Steve will be here a little bit later on. Yes, he is back by popular demand. Did you see him, by the way, on Friday? He was in a very lively mood. However, today, guess what? He feels tired. He feels a little bit under the weather. So once again, today, Mr. Steve will be sitting down. That's disgusting. Yes, it is English Addict number 70. I can't believe we've made it all the way to 70. Wow. All the way to episode 70. Poor Mr. Steve. He's not feeling very well. I don't know why, because yesterday we went for a lovely walk and Steve was in a very excited mood. I'm not going to tell you why. We're going to ask Steve when he comes on today. He will be with us live very shortly. When Steve arrives, I'm going to ask him why he was so excited yesterday. And I'm also going to show you what we had to eat on Friday as well, because Steve was very busy in the kitchen making some lovely cakes, some scones, or as I like to say, scones. So that coming up a little bit later on. Why is Mr. Steve so happy? There is a reason for it. And it's a very good reason as well. A very nice reason indeed. Also, we're going to look at some very strange words. You know, the English language is sometimes confusing, sometimes surprising. Sometimes the English language can be very confusing with words that look strange. So I thought we would have a look at some odd words that exist, some strange words that exist in the English language. And can I just say, there are many. For example, we have this word, ba-ding, bamboozle. Bamboozle. I love this word. It sounds like a word that isn't real. However, it is a real word, honestly. It's definitely a real word. Bamboozle. If you bamboozle someone, it means you trick them or cheat them. You do something that confuses them. You trick them into thinking something. You bamboozle a person. You bamboozle someone. To confuse a person by misleading them can be bamboozle. I love that word. It looks like a word that I've made up, but I haven't. It is a real word. The word is bamboozle. To create confusion. You might bamboozle your friend with some information that may or may not be true or real. Bamboozle. I like that word very much. And of course, the effect of this is bamboozled. So a person who is confused or misled by another person, you can say that they are bamboozled. They are completely confused and maybe also cheated or misled. Bamboozle. You are trying to bamboozle me with all of your technical computer words. You see? So maybe a person who is trying to sell a computer to another person, but maybe the computer isn't very good. So what you will do, you will use lots of big long words to try and trick the person into buying the computer. You bamboozle that person. You make them confused and overwhelmed by the words that you are using. Bamboozle. I love that word very much. It's a very interesting word. Mr. Steve will be with us soon. Do not worry, he will be with us. Hello to Maddy. Hello, Maddy. Maddy Mohammadi. I really feel great to be part of one of the best English classes across YouTube. Thank you very much for your compliment as well. Nice to see you here. Also, we have Anapika. Anapika says, I missed you a lot yesterday. I missed you, to be honest. Yesterday morning when I woke up, I actually thought I was going to do a live stream. But I wasn't. I even had some ideas in my head. And the other thing about yesterday is the weather was unbelievably beautiful. It was a fantastic day yesterday. I can't believe how lovely the weather was yesterday. And I also can't believe how bad the weather is today. It was hot, so hot, about 23 degrees yesterday here in the UK. The sun was out. We had a gorgeous walk into town. Even though there were a few too many people in town, I did feel a little uncomfortable walking around town yesterday because there were quite a few people walking around. I love your comments, by the way, on the live chat. I really do love them. I love them very much. Hello, Rick. Rick San. Hello, Rick. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Could you show or could you say or reveal or demonstrate the pronunciation of caller? A person who is phoning you, or maybe you are phoning someone else on the telephone. You are the caller, the person who is making the call. Caller. Then we have the word colour. Colour, the shade or the tone of a plant or any object around you, I suppose. Colour. Caller. Colour. Collar. So the collar is here. For example, on my shirt, you can see there is a collar on my shirt. Very nice. So we have caller. Hello? 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 Who's there? Who is the caller? I don't know who the caller is. Then we have the colour. For example, the colour of my tie is purple. Even though some people say it's pink, but it isn't. It is purple. And then we have collar. Caller. Colour. Collar. I hope that helps you. Thank you very much. Oh, we also have Luis Mendez. Luis Mendez is here today. I hope you are recovering from you know what. Hello also to Kim Kui Huang. Nice to see you here. I have a feeling that you are watching in Vietnam. Nice to see you here. Here's another strange word that exists in the English language. There are many words in English, many. Some might say millions. There are certainly many definitions of words. Maybe you might say millions of definitions. There are many ways of using words, and I suppose you could say that about all languages. Stipple. Oh, I like this word. Stipple. Stipple. If you stipple something, it means you make a certain pattern, normally with paint. Stipple. Maybe you press the bristles of a brush onto the surface, maybe on your ceiling or on your walls. It is a type of contour or a type of surface, stipple. So it is not smooth, it has stipples. It is something that is stippled. You often see walls and also ceilings in certain buildings or houses, and they are stippled. Certain types of painting, such as landscape painting, you can stipple. That means you press the brush flat onto the surface. Stipple. Stipple. I like that word. I'm going to show it again. Stipple. Mr. Duncan was painting his ceiling. He was stippling the paint to create a contour, a shape, or texture. So we can describe stipple as a type of texture as well. Stipple. So this can be used as a noun and also a verb as well. You stipple something. The thing that is left behind is stipple. Stipple. I like that one. I really do. Mr. Steve is coming soon. Hello, where are you? Where am I? I'm here at the moment in my studio in England. That's where I'm talking to you from right now. Hello, Saturino. Yes, we are all together once again live. I am doing my lessons. For those who don't know who I am, I will quickly mention my name is Duncan. I teach English and I'm here 3 times a week on Sunday, Wednesday and Friday. And I teach English on YouTube, and I've been doing it forever. Such a long time, almost too long. Sometimes I think maybe I should be doing something else with my life. Maybe something else. Maybe I should be a mountain climber. Or maybe I should go deep sea diving to look at all of the beautiful coral reefs around the world. However, if I did that, then I wouldn't be able to do this. And to be honest with you, I do enjoy doing this. I really do enjoy it. And I hope you do as well. I really do. So why is Mr. Steve happy today? He is feeling very happy, and it all relates to something he did a few days ago. What is it? We will find out later on. Oh, by the way, I have been asked to show the cattle. So here is the cattle once again in the field at the back of my house. So these are now living right at the back of my house. And I am quite pleased to see them there. Very pleased indeed. So they're arriving into the field. They were arriving last week. There are a selection of bulls and also cows as well. So collectively, we will normally call these cattle. Cattle. We will often describe these as cattle. Cattle. They are cattle. That's what we call them. I hope you can still see me all right. Oh, hello. Something very strange happened then. A bird actually flew and rested on the window, and it was a baby. It was a baby blackbird. Just came to say hello. It was probably wondering where I am, because I'm not outside. I think so. So there were the cows. We have a lot of cattle at the moment. And I have a strange feeling my internet connection just went down for a few moments, which is great. I'm really enjoying this wonderful 21st century technology. We're going to have a little break, and then we have Mr. Steve coming on as well. And it will also give me a chance to drink some water before my throat bursts into flames. So here it is, one of my full English lessons. This is an excerpt taken from Full English number 28. And then after this, it's Mr. Steve. Surprise! It's me! Were you expecting me, or did you think someone else would pop up on your screen? Welcome to another Full English lesson, coming to you from the birthplace of Rod Stewart, Fraser's dad, Benjamin Britten, Rod Temperton. What? You don't know who Rod Temperton was? He only wrote some of the biggest songs in popular music history, the most successful of which was Thriller by Michael Jackson. But I digress. So without any more musical chit-chat and songwriting shenanigans, let's get on with today's Full English lesson right now. The English language can be very confusing, especially when it comes to grammar and punctuation. Here's a good example of that confusion. For what reason do you use an apostrophe in the word it's? This particular confusion occurs with native speakers as well as those learning it as a second language. The two types of uses are contraction and possessive. As a contraction, there is an apostrophe added to the sentence which shows that the sentence in question has been shortened. Instead of it is, you put it's. It's so nice of you to invite me over. Without the apostrophe, the word becomes possessive, to clearly show that the thing in question belongs to the subject being discussed, as in, an elephant in the wild will grab the branch with its trunk. So there is a definite difference between these two uses. As I already mentioned, it is common for those who use English natively to make mistakes. So the next time you make a small error whilst speaking English, you can reassure yourself by remembering this lovely phrase. Whether you use English every day or if you're only just starting to learn how to say, mistakes are common and they happen either way. Enjoy English. It's time now to take a look at another buzzword. A buzzword is a word or sentence that is popular during a certain period of time or is used often. Today's buzzword is negotiate. The word negotiate is a verb that means to obtain or bring something about by discussion. To make something happen by formally discussing the important points where there is disagreement is to negotiate. They had to negotiate a new pay deal for the employees. Some market traders are willing to negotiate the price with you. To share disagreements with a view to making compromises and changes is to negotiate. Sometimes it is necessary to discuss the disagreements that two or more groups have, so they must be negotiated. To find a way through or over something, such as an obstacle or a difficult route, is to negotiate. The cyclists had to negotiate some very sharp corners during the race. To transfer a cheque or bill with its benefits to another person is to negotiate. To convert a cheque into cash or notes is to negotiate. The noun negotiation is the actual discussion where people negotiate a plan or a deal. The negotiations went on right through the night. The word negotiate originated in Latin and meant done in the course of business. Synonyms of negotiate include talk, discuss, barter, confer, bargain, parley, settle. You negotiate. There is nothing more pleasing than seeing someone smile. A smile can go a long way. I love smiling as it gives me a chance to show off my lovely teeth. Isn't it strange how we take our teeth for granted? We only really appreciate them after they've gone. There are many idioms relating to teeth. For example, you can get your teeth into something. To do something with enthusiasm and passion is to get your teeth into something. I can't wait to get my teeth into this new job. If something is rare or uncommon, then we can say that it is like hen's teeth. The honesty of a politician is as common as hen's teeth. The meaning being that a hen has no teeth. To be annoyed by something to the point where you cannot take it anymore. You can be sick to your back teeth. Your constant complaining is making me sick to my back teeth. To start out as a newcomer or to learn as you go along is to cut your teeth. I spent 5 years in the Justice Department cutting my teeth as a lawyer. Teeth can be described as gnashers, choppers, ivories, pearly whites, chompers. If a person has big teeth, then we might describe them as looking like tombstones. Look after your teeth. You'll miss them when they're gone. Oh, yes, very nice. Wasn't that nice? Did you enjoy one of my English lessons, one of my actual full English lessons? And yes, as I said, I am going to start making some more. Well, as soon as the weather gets better, I will definitely start making some more full English lessons. I don't know why, but today I feel as if I don't know why. I just, the day has gone by so quickly. I woke up this morning, I had 4 hours to prepare, and then suddenly all of the time seemed to just disappear. Here is someone now who always likes to use his time in a very constructive way, a constructive and useful way. He's looking rather bright today, even though this morning he wasn't feeling well. He's a little bit under the weather again. However, he is back with us. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Steve.
I said good morning to you earlier. How are you today, Mr. Duncan? We are separated, aren't we?
We are today, but because you wanted to sit down in your chair.
Yes, I wanted to sit down because, I'm not feeling 100%. Just like last week, I don't know what's the matter with me. I've got a headache today. I could blame you for that, but I won't.
Good.
Although, it's a good job we're inside, Mr. Duncan, because I'm looking out the window here. It's pretty wild, windy weather.
It is.
Outside. But one thing I can see is one thing that is cheering me up more than anything.
Wait there, before you say anything, because this is something I've been teasing, you see.
Oh. Teasing.
So be careful, Steve, that we don't want to give the money shot too quickly. But Steve, we went outside yesterday because it was really strange yesterday because I've stopped doing my daily live streams, and I have to be honest. It felt really strange yesterday morning. I woke up and I felt as if there was something I should be doing, but I didn't have anything to do. And then we went into town, didn't we? However, on the way through the garden, Steve noticed something. You got a little bit excited, didn't you, Steve?
I did, because I've been waiting for this moment to happen. And I thought to myself, why haven't I seen them yet? Why haven't I seen it happen? My hard work come to fruition.
Yes.
My hard work come to fruition. There's a good expression, Mr. Duncan.
So it's something you did a few days ago. We actually talked about it on one of our Sunday live streams. So this is something that Steve was doing in the garden, but I wonder if you can actually work out there what it was that got Mr. Steve so excited yesterday. I will give you a clue. It is something to do with outside. I think that's a pretty big clue.
I think, yes.
It's a pretty big clue, that. So, outside, something outside that Mr. Steve did. Christina says, Mr. Steve, you are always working hard. You must take a rest for a while.
You're so right. Mr. Duncan's like a slave driver. He gets me to work hard all the time. Oh, that needs doing. That needs doing. Why aren't you doing that? Why haven't you finished that task yet? Okay. Where's my tea? He says, I'm the one, I'm the star, I'm the one who's working hard, appearing in front of millions every day.
What?
I'm joking,
okay.
Of course.
I don't know who you're on about. Who are you on about there? Because it's not me you're talking about.
I know. But the only thing that's keeping me going at the moment is the knowledge that all my hard work 2 weeks ago has paid off.
Yes.
And anyway, you'll tell us all what it's about, I'm sure. You've got a little video.
Yes. Well, we're going to have a glimpse right now. So this is what Steve was really getting excited about the other day.
Well,
you will see it now on the screen. Are you ready, everyone? Is everyone ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. I don't know about you. So here we go.
Ready.
So this was just before I came on. This is one of the reasons why I was actually late today, because I was doing this in the garden.
Yes.
So let's have a look. Ooh. And there is the garden. You can see it's very windy. Just to give you an idea, look how windy it is. And as we move across the garden, you could see a blackbird then flying away. There is the bird bath. Let's keep going. Oh, can you see it, Steve?
Someone's guessed it here. Jin has guessed it. So well done. Look at that! Look at that, Mr. Duncan.
I can see green.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I kept watering it every day, and I expected the new green shoots
Yes.
from the grass seed. Look how close Mr. Duncan's zooming in there. I expected it to take maybe 6-7 days. That's what it said on the packet of seeds.
Well, I thought they said 13 days.
No, well, on the packet of seeds I bought, they said it was a very fast germinating type of grass seed, and I
Okay.
should expect results within 6 or 7 days.
Oh,
And 6 or 7 days passed. I kept watering it every night. 7 days passed. In fact, 10 days passed. But on the 12th day, which was yesterday, it literally came up overnight. There was nothing one day, and it was all up the next day.
isn't nature amazing?
It is. So, success. I've managed to plant some grass seed, and it's worked. And the birds have taken half of it, but for their babies, but at least it's come up. So, yes, I'm happy, Mr. Duncan.
So you can see there the green shoots of Mr. Steve's new grass is finally coming through the soil. Steve is now the proud father of a new lawn. Isn't that?
Mika got it right as well, but a number of people had guessed. So, thank you very much for following me and remembering what we were doing in the past weeks.
Yeah.
So Miki got it right, and so did somebody else whose name I can't remember now, but I did mention it earlier. So yes, I'm very pleased. So I'm hoping in about 2 weeks' time I can give it its first cut, and then we will have a nice corner of the garden which looks a lot more pleasant than it did before. And I think you're right. I think I've exhausted myself so much over the last few weeks preparing that ground, which is why I haven't yet fully recovered.
So
Mr.
there it is.
Duncan.
Look at that. You can see all of the tiny little blades of grass coming through. Look at that. If we freeze the video, look, you can see some little green shoots coming up through the ground. Of course, we can use the phrase green shoots to mean something else, can't we, Steve? If there is a turnaround, quite often with maybe the economy, we often talk about green shoots. So if something is changing from a bad situation to a good situation, and I'm sure that is something we can all relate to at the moment, we are all patiently waiting for green shoots to start to appear. Look at that. Oh, yes, I got quite close there. So all those little green shoots, that is Mr. Steve's new grass. So
I wonder when we'll be hearing that phrase used by politicians.
Yes.
We are seeing the green shoots of recovery in terms of the economy. I think it's going to be a while until we hear that phrase being used
Yes.
to describe any kind of economic recovery. They quite often use that phrase, don't they, politicians, when they're saying that the economy is recovering. We are seeing green shoots of recovery
Yes.
in the economy.
So it means that the good fortune or the turnaround from a bad situation is beginning. Things are starting to change. There are green shoots appearing.
It's starting well, says Lewis. I know a little about it, so it seems like Lewis probably has sown grass seed before. I mean, it's no big deal. It's not a big thing.
Oh.
But you know, it's a lot of effort, isn't it? Digging over
Yeah.
a piece of ground.
Well, I'm going to say, Steve, you worked very hard on that.
I can feel a little self-satisfied.
Yes.
When you've done something and it's successful. There's a pigeon on it now. Look at that pigeon. You can't see it from here, but there's a pigeon pecking away on my new lawn. Get off! Unfortunately, I can't leave the camera to go and shoo it off.
No. The only thing I'm glad of, Steve, is that you don't own a gun.
We'd have pigeon pie every night
Yes,
if I had a gun, because there's so many pigeons. We could literally live off pigeons.
Yes.
I'll tell you, if there was a food shortage here in this country, we would be fine because we could just eat pigeon pie every night.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Steve. I don't think I like the idea of eating pigeon.
We'll attract them with a little bit of bait, some dried bread,
Yes.
and then I'll pop them off one by one and make a nice pie.
Okay, Steve, that's good. Can I just apologise to all vegans watching?
Ah, yeah, but this is only in a survival situation.
Okay.
I've got to get rid of these pigeons, Mr. Duncan. They're annoying me. Oh! That's got rid of one of them.
That's a wonderful moment of
Yes.
YouTube.
They're on my grass. Get off. I'm going to have to put a big notices on the grass. Pigeons, keep off.
Yes. Well, I think first of all, Steve, you're going to have to teach pigeons how to read.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Never mind.
Yes.
Never mind.
Just one slight drawback of your idea is the fact that pigeons can't read.
But as I was saying, if when you've done something, it's taken you a while to do something, and then you see the results of what you've done, your hard work, you can, for a small period of time, feel a little smug, a little self-satisfied.
Yeah, why not?
That you've done something. But of course, you can't keep on talking about it, because if I keep saying to Mr. Duncan, oh, look, my grass, it's coming up, look how wonderful it is, he will soon tell me to shut up and say, oh, right, get over it. Get over it, Mr. Steve. We know you've done it. It's been successful, but, don't keep going on and on about it. So, yes, there's a blackbird on there now. I don't mind the blackbirds because they're quite light.
Okay.
So they're not going to destroy any. That one's gone as well. There's still one pigeon there.
Okay, Steve.
Oh.
This is fascinating for you, but none of us can see what's actually going on.
I can see it all from here.
Yes.
You've put me in the worst possible position, Mr. Duncan.
Well, you did insist. I was going to try and go outside today, but Steve wanted to have a chair. He said, I must have a chair because I'm feeling so delicate today.
Yes. Yes, I thought, well, I didn't want to risk, because I don't like Mr. Duncan, you see, viewers.
That's me.
Mr. Duncan has this ability to be able to stand up for hours on end.
It's true.
And not have any ill effects. I've never been able to do that. If I stand up for more than half an hour, I start to ache all over. But not Mr. Duncan, because between you and me, he's got giant feet. So
Okay.
Mr. Duncan's feet are so big that they support all his weight very easily, and he doesn't feel any ill effects. It's like having wearing a pair of skis or strapping a couple of tennis rackets to your feet.
Or maybe
all
having
that weight is evenly distributed by Mr. Duncan's rather large feet.
Or maybe
And therefore, he's quite comfortable to stay on his feet for hours on end. He's always been able to do it because you used to work in a shop, didn't you, years ago?
Yeah, that's good, Steve. Yeah, this is it. This is fascinating. Yes,
we're going back more than 30 years here.
Okay,
he used
then.
to be able to stand on his feet
So
all day.
what
That's
do you
something
actually-
that not many of us can do.
Okay, Steve, we get it. I can stand up for a long time. I am literally a human tripod.
Maybe one week you could show us your feet
Okay. Well,
and
that
your
would be.
extra long toes that actually look like fingers. Mr. Duncan's going to be very angry.
I'm not angry. I'm just slightly crestfallen.
Oh.
I'm crestfallen.
No, it's an advantage. You've got some kind of biological advantage over me in that your feet will allow you to stand up for hours on end with no ill effects.
Okay, then, Steve. Yes, you've just literally explained that once, and now you're telling us exactly the same thing again.
I'm going to get my binoculars.
You know what they say, though? People with big feet. It's not true, by the way. It's definitely not true.
No comment from me on that, Mr. Duncan.
Okay, Steve. Okay, fine. So, are you feeling all right now?
Well, I feel better now. I'm live with you, Mr. Duncan, because
okay.
I can forget about my headache.
Aren't you normally live with me?
Well, I'm usually only sort of consciously present for maybe 20% of the day.
Okay.
The rest of the time, I'm sort of in here somewhere.
The live chat is very busy. Sean Ferry asks, do pigeons send letters. I think what you actually mean is, do they carry letters? I don't think they do it anymore. During the war and during periods where telecommunications were sort of damaged, or the power lines or the telephone lines were down, they would often use pigeons, wouldn't they, Steve? Carrier pigeons. But the pigeons themselves didn't write the messages. They were used as transport for the notes and the letters. Yes, so they were called carrier pigeons. Carrier pigeons. And sometimes they would send little parcels as well. They would strap small packages to them and they would take them. And maybe that's something Amazon might be using soon because of the situation here. There are lots of pigeons. You could get pigeons. You could train them to deliver Amazon packages to people's doors. So that the pigeon would come down and then it would tap on the door with its beak. And then underneath it there would be this giant Amazon package, which it had just flown 30 or 40 miles to deliver.
It would be a lot more reliable than trying to use drones.
It's a brilliant idea, I think.
I think so. I reckon a pigeon could carry more than a drone. And Mr. Duncan, can I just say, that's something that you can do very well that I can't do, and that's make the sound of a pigeon.
Yes.
Because I think that's something that I think it's a genetic thing. You've got to, if you can roll your R's, or you can make this. You do that again, Mr. Duncan. Make the sound of a pigeon.
If there's one thing I'm good at, it's rolling my R's. Yes, okay. We'll have a little bit of echo with it as well. Here we go. So here is a pigeon. This is my impression of a pigeon delivering an Amazon package.
There we go. You see, if I try to do that, this is what it sounds like. I can't do it. I can't make that noise. I can't do it.
That sounds like the pigeon just before it collapses after carrying the package.
That's the sound it makes after I've shot it with my gun.
So come on, Jeff Bezos, don't take that idea from me. I came up with that idea. You can have your drones, and I will have the pigeons delivering parcels to people's doors. Good idea?
No, I've never been able to make that noise. I can't make the... I don't know how you do it. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. There's somebody here. Now, I saw this earlier. I'll get back to it when I can see it in a minute. From Belarus. We've got somebody watching us from Belarus today, and I've lost the name of the person because it was here, and now it's gone. Because you know what the live chat's like. I try to look back at the live chat. Oh, here we go. It's Galina R from Belarus, and that stood out for me because Belarus was on the news. I'm sure it was Belarus that was on the news last night.
Okay.
With their big celebrations of VE Day. I think you had particularly spectacular celebrations. I hope I'm right that it was yourself, but it was over the news here in the BBC because I think we were most impressed with your celebrations. So that's that. I think, was that right, Mr. Duncan? Am I right about that? Do you think?
Don't mention the war. I've got a new rule on here. Don't mention the war, because if you mention the war, people start complaining about it. They say, "Oh, Mr. Duncan, who did you support and during the Second World War, and who do you support now during the wars that are happening?" And it's such a heavy subject when you start talking about it, because we talked about VE Day, which means victory in Europe, even though I said victory over Europe, which was just a slip of the tongue, you know. So I said that. But it is a difficult subject to talk about, isn't it, when you think about it? Belarus, yes, they had a big military march, and also in Russia they were having lots of celebrations.
They were.
It's interesting that different parts of the world celebrate their VE Day, or the end of the Second World War, on different days.
And in different ways as well.
Yes, but I think the point about Belarus was that the military parade took place as usual. There was actually no safe distancing or anything. So I think the reason why we were talking about it here is because it looked as if everything there was normal.
But we have to make sure that we have got the right country.
Yeah, well, yes. Well, you mentioned it, Steve.
Well, I'm sure, but it looked very impressive.
It's Steve. It's Steve. Steve did it.
Palmyra, I noticed earlier, has their social distancing has been relaxed a little there because they must be ahead of us in terms of their recovery.
Okay.
Has enjoyed her first cup of coffee in an outside cafe.
Oh my goodness!
So that must have felt wonderful.
There are definitely some differences occurring.
Yes, I think we're a long way from that, Mr. Duncan. I think I won't comment on our performance on you know what, but I think for all to see across the world, I don't think that we are exactly covering ourselves in glory when it comes to the to this particular pandemic.
Yes, okay then. I was just waiting for the end of the sentence. We've got someone watching in. It's disappeared. Wait there. One of the annoying things about the live chat is quite often you will see a lovely message that you want to read out and then it vanishes. I think Steve has the same problem as well. But can I say hello to Darren Rossiter? Hello, Darren.
Hello.
Yes, watching in the UK. Can you believe it?
From Nottingham, which isn't too far away from us.
Yes.
Probably about 60 miles, something like that.
Nottingham.
Don't think too far away. So how lovely to have somebody watching us from the UK. We don't get very many.
But we do get people watching in the UK. There are lots of people watching in the UK, Steve.
Oh, right, okay.
But not people who are... I'm guessing that you are actually a native English speaker. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I get the feeling you are curious to find out what all of this is about. Even though we do have people watching in the UK.
Yes, we do. We do, definitely.
Yes.
Or you do, rather. I'm only here once a week. And we've got somebody watching from Kazakhstan today.
Ooh.
Barum Bali from Kazakhstan. So welcome and hello to you. That's what's so wonderful about your live chats. We get people from all over the world watching.
Yes, I like to think that this is... I like to think this is a big community, a big happy family on a Sunday getting together.
Have you got a theme today, Mr. Duncan?
A theme? Well, I was talking about unusual words. Would you like to see another one? So
Definitely.
We're looking at unusual English words. The world of English is a fun and exciting place, and also sometimes a little bit confusing as well. So there is an interesting word.
And very relevant to something
Yes.
that's going on outside at the moment.
So trample. It's a great word. Trample.
Trample.
Trample. It's a great word. It means to stand on something or walk across something. So you are putting your full weight onto a surface, quite often on the ground. As you walk, you will trample. However, Steve is getting a little annoyed at the pigeons because they are in the habit at the moment. They like to trample over Mr. Steve's grass seed.
They're trampling all over the ground.
Yes.
So it means it's a sort of a heavy-footed attempt, really, just sort of walk over ground in a sort of random, heavy-handed sort of way.
Heavy-handed?
Yes, heavy-footed rather.
Are you walking on your hands?
So you,
I suppose
without
if you
thinking.
Yes, okay. I suppose if you're with the circus, maybe.
So without thinking, somebody might say, "Oh, do you mind? Get off there! Stop trampling all over my newly laid lawn," for example. I might say that to Mr. Duncan if he tries to get on there too soon. If you trample over something, you normally damage something in the process of doing it. You're not being careful. It's a way of walking over a surface that lacks any care.
That's it. You're putting your heavy weight, your full weight onto the ground. Normally walking, if you are trampling, you will trample over something. Maybe you will trample on someone's flowers, and you will destroy them.
Trample over their flowers or over their vegetables. An animal could do that, or a human could do it deliberately.
That's it.
But you can also trample over somebody's ideas, can't you, as well? So if somebody's got an idea, they've got a plan, a scheme, they want to do something. For example, I could accuse Mr. Duncan of trampling over my idea to turn that corner of the garden into something looking a bit more pleasant.
Okay.
Because if somebody criticises you after you decide to do something, so for example, I could say to Mr. Duncan, I want to dig over that area of ground, put some plants in, level it out and put grass seed down there. And Mr. Duncan might say, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. No, that won't look right. You ought to put a shed there. Or no, that'll never work. The birds will take all the seed away. I could then come back to Mr. Duncan and say, stop trampling over my idea.
Yes.
So if you try to put somebody down in something that they want to do, you can accuse them of trampling over their ideas.
Yes. It's often used in a negative way. It's often used in a way of destroying by creating damage. So when we think of something physically, we are talking about people walking over things or destroying things.
Carelessly, in a careless fashion.
So quite often, trample is used in a negative way. Like the pigeons, they like to trample over Mr. Steve's lawn seed. Is that right? Would you say?
Yes, lawn seed.
I think so.
Bayer and Lou says, hello, Mr. Steve and Mr. Duncan. Good day from Singapore. Trample, destroy by feet. That's correct. Yes, but so it can be used in that way to say that you're using your feet to carelessly destroy something. But it can also be used in another way. For somebody who's got an idea to do something, a business idea or something like that, and somebody criticises them, and then you're trampling on their ideas by using the words that you're saying. Isn't that right, Mr. Duncan?
It is true, yes.
So you can trample in a physical way with your feet, or you can trample by using your words to put down somebody's ideas or plans.
You trample over their dreams.
Yes. Trample over their success.
And some people like to do that, don't they? They might be jealous of someone else's success, or maybe someone has a great idea but you don't want them to succeed, so you will trample over their idea. They will then become discouraged, and maybe they won't do it because of your horrible words.
Baron Lou says, does trampoline come from trample?
It's all about feet, to be honest.
We don't know that, but yes.
So tramp just means to move around, walk. You walk. You like trampoline. Trampoline, you are bouncing. You are moving on your feet, but you are going up and down. A tramp, a person who is homeless, what do? They
walk around all over the place.
Yes, they tramp. They walk. So trample is just another way of describing walking. You are walking over something. Quite often you are damaging the thing that you are walking on. So yes, it's an interesting word. A simple word, yet it can be used in so many wonderful, expressive ways.
Well, Andy Starr says, this is a good use of the word, I was trampled in my job by my boss. So your boss was trampling all over you. So you might have had some good ideas, to do something in the office or wherever you work, but your boss put all those ideas down. He criticised them and stopped them ever happening. So he trampled on you, trampled on your ideas and anything that you wanted to do at work. So that's a very good use. People can trample all. Quite often you might say, for example, somebody in a relationship, that one person in that relationship might be dominant in some way and might criticise the other partner all the time. And a friend of yours might say, well, don't let them trample all over you. Stand up for yourself. So somebody might constantly criticise you and try and put you down and to keep you in your place because that makes them feel better. But of course, what they're actually doing is trampling all over you. So they're using words and to make you feel bad, and that is used an expression. Don't let somebody trample all over you. Means that don't let them take the mickey out of you. Don't let them use you.
Yes.
Or belittle you or
Yes.
put you down.
That's it. A person can say things that will demotivate another person.
Yes.
They will lose their confidence, take away a person's confidence. We will be playing the sentence game a little bit later on, Steve, as well. We have a wonderful game called the sentence game. We will be playing it. It is only 3:25 on a Sunday afternoon here in the UK. The sentence game coming soon as well. Here's another interesting word, Steve. This is an interesting word. Look at this one. Is that a real word? Is it? Maybe I've got it upside down.
Oh.
Wow. What is that?
That doesn't make sense.
I think it's that way.
Russian. It looks like Russian up the other way, Mr. Duncan.
Yes, it does look like Russian. You're right. That looks like Russian. That looks like Cyrillic. That looks a little bit like Cyrillic. But that is... So come on then.
Eschew.
It's actually pronounced as it looks. It's actually eschew.
Ah.
Eschew. It's a weird word, isn't it?
That is a weird word. Now I know the word, but I can't remember what it means, Mr.
Yes,
Duncan.
to eschew. It's often used in legal terms. It's often used in legal terms. I'm going to leave this here, actually, because I think that's a great word. It's one of the strangest words I think I've seen for a long time. Eschew. So that's exactly how you pronounce it. So as you see it on the screen, that is literally how you say it. Eschew. Eschew.
And what does it mean, Mr. Duncan?
No, I just said I'm going to see if anyone can come up with it themselves. I'm going to get you to do a little bit of work on this Sunday, you see. I know the meaning, of course, but...
Of course you do, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
You wouldn't have put it up there if you didn't know.
Well, no, that wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. Eschew. It's a great word. So I wonder if someone's going to come up with that one. Oh, very nice. We have the sentence game coming soon. Steve,
Yes.
this morning... Now, this is something that confused me today. Steve did something today that confused me. During the week, Steve phoned up a builder. Now, as you know, that we are going through strange times here in the UK and around the world. But Steve phoned a builder to come and look because, yes, basically some of the house is falling down.
We had a water leak,
Yes.
did we not? When we had all that heavy rain, which some of you may remember, during the winter months, it was the wettest winter, I think, ever on record. We had heavy driving rain and we had, let's just say, 1 or 2 leaks. So yes, I phoned a builder up last week because I thought it's on the outside of the house. There's a problem on the outside. let's see if I can convince somebody to come round and have a look at it. Because my theory is when the restrictions are all lifted,
Okay.
then builders are going to be in very high demand to go and fix people's leaking roofs and
Yeah.
whatever needs doing. So I thought I'll get in quickly, get somebody round, and then when they can actually work properly, which we think will probably be next week. We've got an announcement tonight, haven't we, in the UK?
I don't think it's going to be next week.
Well, builders maybe. Anyway, we don't know. So anyway, he suddenly phoned up out of the blue this morning and said that he could come round and have a look. So
he wanted to come to the house and have a look, and suddenly I was panicking, but Steve didn't seem too concerned, which was even more surprising. So I really didn't want anyone coming to the house at all. I didn't want some stranger driving up to the house and then coming onto our property and walking around, and maybe perhaps he would want to come into the house. So I said that can't happen. I was really surprised. However, he didn't stay very long, and so he didn't come into the house, or he didn't get too close. However, sometimes, this is something I've noticed, Steve. Don't take this as a criticism,
yes.
but I do notice sometimes. I notice sometimes you seem to forget that we're in a lockdown situation in the UK.
I know, but the idea was he would come round, we would stay 2 meters apart.
Okay.
I would point to where the problem was, and I would say, "What do you think?" And he would say, "You need this doing or that doing."
Yeah.
And then I'd say, "Okay, give me a quote."
Okay.
And then.
But what I'm on about? But you forget. That's the problem.
But I didn't forget today.
Okay, then. But that's what you do. Steve had this amazing habit of keeping his social distance and then forgetting completely, and then he gets closer and closer and more vocal, and he seems to forget that we're in lockdown.
No, I don't anymore.
No, I think he's remembered now.
Anyway, he came and went.
Yes,
as we say.
that's it.
And his solution was.
Yes.
Well, the problem is I couldn't let him into the house,
Yes,
because obviously we can't do that.
That's it. That's
So
anyway.
he couldn't really see what the problem was. So his solution was rather radical and expensive. So I said I'd get back to him.
Yes. Okay, Steve.
He wanted us within.
Yeah.
He hadn't really diagnosed the problem. This is what happens sometimes when it's very difficult to trust. If anyone's ever had builders come round to your house, you can't, if you don't know anything about the trade or the profession.
Okay. Well, you'd do it yourself, wouldn't you?
Well, that's the thing, you see. I don't know anything about building.
No.
So
Well,
when you get somebody to come round and assess your house as to what needs doing,
Yes.
you have to sort of trust them.
Yes.
Which is why you should always get at least 3 separate quotes.
Okay.
But the point is, within 30 seconds of me saying, "Oh, that was the problem," he hadn't looked in the inside where the water leak was or anything. And straight away he said, "Oh, yes, you've got a problem with blah, blah, blah." I didn't know what it was.
Blah, blah,
Some
blah.
kind of inner sill something. I don't
Okay,
know what
this
it
is
was.
good.
I don't know anything about building.
Okay.
What we need to do is I'll get some scaffolding, and as soon as you hear the word scaffolding with a builder, it's not going to be cheap, is
Yeah.
it?
Well, what's scaffolding?
So he said he was going to put scaffolding. It's the interlocking poles that go up on buildings, isn't it? So that it's safe
Yeah.
for builders to work on the outside of your house.
It's just a framework that builders use to climb up and down when we're working on the front of a building. Yes.
Well, you never want to have a builder come to your house and say, "We'll put up scaffolding," because that's going to be expensive straight away.
Yes.
And then he started talking about removing on one side of the house about 3 or 4 layers of bricks to see what was happening. I thought, here we go. He's just trying to make money. He doesn't money out of nothing.
Okay, then, Steve. I'm trying to stay on track here, Steve. I don't know where you. All I said was a builder came and I was surprised. That was it.
Anyway, he's gone.
This is far too much information for the average. Well, anyone really.
It is. What I'm doing now, of course, is just expressing my inner thoughts. far too much.
There
You're
is
probably
certainly.
perfectly correct.
Okay, Steve, let me just carry on teaching English because that is really what we're here for.
Well, your word has got a lot of attention on the
Yeah,
live
I
chat.
love this. This is one of the strangest. I think this is one of the strangest words that exists in English because it looks like it should be pronounced maybe, as you said, eschew, but actually you pronounce it exactly as it is written, eschew, eschew, and it means to push away. You are pushing away something. Normally as a means of avoiding it, you eschew something. Quite often used in legal terms. So you will often hear this used in legal terms if you are trying to push away maybe defence or maybe a reason for something or maybe some evidence you will try to avoid by pushing it away. You eschew. I think that's a brilliant word.
It sounds a bit like a sneeze, as a lot of people have said.
Yeah.
Eschew!
Eschew. I'm not really sneezing, by the way. But yes, you're right. It does sound like a person is actually sneezing. I think so.
So can I eschew you, Mr. Duncan, for the next 2 weeks?
Eschew.
Eschew you for the next 2 weeks?
Why?
Because I feel like it.
Oh, okay then.
I'm going to avoid Mr. Duncan for the next 2 weeks. No, I'm not really.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were being serious then or not. Plotina. Oh, here we go. Plotina is also talking about a person who comes to their house. They came to their house to fix a leak. The water was leaking from the heater. I had a leak in the heater, and one quote was 20,000 euros, and the other one did the job for 2,000 euros. Yes.
That's the problem with builders. They've got this reputation of ripping you off.
Some.
But builders have that reputation in general.
Some.
Which is why, I know, not all of them do it,
No,
which is
please.
why you should get at least 3 quotes.
Just in case there are any builders watching.
No, I'm not saying all builders rip you off. I'm saying they have that reputation.
Yeah.
Just like salespeople have a reputation of lying to get their sales.
Oh, that's true. Yes, they all do it.
They've got that. It doesn't mean that everybody does it.
Oh, no,
Or politicians have got a reputation of lying.
All salespeople lie.
That's not true, Mr. Duncan. I'm heavily regulated in my industry.
You can say whatever you want about salespeople, but don't you dare criticise those builders. They can literally save your house from falling down on your head.
Yes, but you don't want to be ripped off.
No, you don't want to be cheated by a builder. You're right. Yes,
exactly.
but Plotina, you make a very interesting observation there. Sometimes you have to be careful. So there is the word eschew, to avoid. You push something away, you avoid it. Quite often you use it in law. Very interesting. We will be playing the game that everyone is talking about in this house. Namely, Steve and myself. And that is the sentence game. Would you like to play along, Steve? Do you want to play along?
Oh, definitely. I'm here. I might as well.
Okay, so we don't have any song. We don't have any very colourful titles. We just have this piece of paper that I left outside in the rain the other day. So this is the sentence game. The sentence game. This is the sentence game. The sentence game. Play along at home. It's the sentence game. That's it. That's the
Well
intro.
done.
Did you like that? Is that worthy of a round of applause? Thank you. It's lovely. Thank you for those applause. The sentence game. Now, we have been playing this over the past few days, and we're going to change the rules today, Steve. Ooh.
Is that going to be confusing?
Yes. Quite likely for one particular person.
He means me.
No, I don't mean you, Steve. The sentence game. So I'm going to show you a sentence. However, this is different. So instead of showing 4 words, I'm going to show you a reply to a question. And what you have to do is guess what the question is, or form a question that will go with that answer. It's a bit like Jeopardy. Have you ever heard of Jeopardy? It's a very well-known TV show in the United States. And what they do, they give you an answer, and you have to guess what the question is. It's a brilliant game, actually. It's addictive, and also a huge game show in the United States. I think it's been running for about 50 years. It's been on for forever in the United States. So the sentence game today, something a little different. We are going to show you an answer, a reply. What you have to do is tell me what the question is as well. Oh, fly away. Fly away. Guess what, Steve? Fly away is the owner of a pigeon.
Well.
Yes. So maybe fly away. I hope your pigeon does not come into Steve's garden, or else you might find that your pigeon never comes back.
Whereabouts are you, fly away?
Yes.
Because maybe you could send your pigeon here with a message, and then we could read the message, read it out on Mr. Duncan's live stream, and then we could send a message back to you, and then you could show us a picture of it.
Yes.
I mean, I would say if you're more than 100 miles away, it probably won't work. But if your pigeon can fly across oceans and mountains, then we could play an interesting game here, couldn't we, Mr. Duncan?
How far away are you? And but unfortunately, that particular game, you would have to own a pigeon, and I get the feeling there aren't many people watching who own a pigeon.
But if Flyaway's pigeon is able to navigate itself to our garden,
okay,
then Flyaway could ask a question, and then we could read that question, and then we could send the answer back and send the pigeon back to you.
Yes. Unless,
I mean, it may take several weeks.
Yes, unless, of course, Steve shoots it.
I haven't got a gun, Mr. Duncan.
No. That's one of the things I'm always grateful for in this country. We have very strict gun laws. Fortunately, for me and everyone living around here, Mr. Steve can't own a gun. I'm really pleased about that.
I'm a sort of shoot first and ask questions later type of guy.
Yes. Yes, Steve tends to rush to conclusions.
Not always. So anyway, you can buy an air gun, and I think some of those are quite powerful, but I may look into that one day. Okay, then, anyway. I don't want to kill any animals. No, me Definitely neither. Don't. Me neither. I feel very guilty. Yes, and so you should. Here we go then. This is the sentence game, everyone. Are you ready to play? You see what I've done there? What I've done is I've given you enough time to maybe get a piece of paper so you can write down the sentence. So this is the reply to a sentence. This is the reply to a question. And here it is on the screen. What you have to do is come up with your own question. You are asking something. Are you ready to play out there in YouTube land? Ding! I will do it in a moment. I will do it in a moment. I will do it in a moment. Ooh, okay, Steve. You could say it in an angry way. Yes, except there isn't an exclamation mark at the end. Let's see. Anyway, where was I before Steve shouted in my ear? I will do it in a moment. So that is the reply. So from this, what would you say the type of question is, Steve? Would you say that this is a request? Maybe? Yes, it could be a request. Yeah, definitely. So I think it's a request, definitely. I will do it in a moment. If that is your reply, there could be a lot of things that you could say before that statement. So let's see what everybody comes up with.
Yes. I will do it.
Give us the. That's the answer to the question. Give us the question.
So what is the question that would come before this reply? I will do it. I will do it in a moment. This is something that I often say to Steve when he's nagging at me to do something.
We've already got a lot of replies, Mr. Duncan.
Good.
I think Galena was the first. Have you made tea? I will do it in a moment. Yep,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes.
Francesca says, did you do your homework? Answer, I will do it in a moment.
Good.
Well done.
Good.
Or just Christina says, when will you do it? Could be anything.
Yes. So now that is a very good question. So you are not just asking if a person will do it. You are asking when they will do it. So maybe it's something that they should have done already. So maybe you are asking a person if they've done something that they should have already done. Sometimes Steve will do this. He will come up to me and say, why are those dirty dishes? Why are those dirty dishes still in the kitchen? You haven't put the dishwasher on yet. You haven't washed those dishes. And I will say, I will do it in a moment. I will do it in a moment. So Steve is asking me in a very direct way why I haven't done the job that I was supposed to do 2 hours ago. Does that sound right?
Yes. Bayona Lou says, are you going to shoot the pigeon? And my reply is, I will do it in a moment. I'm not going to shoot any pigeons, but yes, that's funny. When will you serve the dinner to Mr. Steve?
Oh, yeah.
The answer to that would be never. Not I will do it in a moment. I'm joking.
That's it. So quite often it's a thing that maybe you are supposed to do, or maybe something that you are due to do in the near foreseeable future. I will do it in a moment. So you are waiting for something to happen. You are waiting for someone to do something.
Valentina says, can you please call your mother? I will do it in a moment.
Yeah, that's a good one. I will do it in a moment. Maybe I will call my mother in a moment.
Christina here must be a parent who's saying, when will you clean your room? And the reply from the child is, I will do it in a moment.
Yes, that is a very common one.
That would be a very polite reply from your child.
Yes. I don't know any child, I don't know any teenager that would say, I will do it in a moment. They would probably say, oh, shut up, Mum. Oh, you're always picking on me. Oh, it's not fair. I hate living in this house. I don't think they would say, I will do it in a moment. I don't think so.
Valentine wants a private Skype lesson with you.
Well, I'm not cheap. I'm not cheap. If you, despite what people say, I am definitely not a cheap man. So if you want a private Skype lesson, I hope your wallet is very, very... Steve's face. What was that, Steve?
Well, you don't really do them, though, do you?
I don't. No. Well, that's the point I was getting to. You see, I don't do private lessons. I don't do Skype lessons one-on-one, and the reason for that is I like to give everyone the opportunity. So if I spend my time doing it one-on-one, so me and another person, that means lots of other people can't watch my live streams or get involved with my lessons. So I've never done that. I've never given private lessons on the internet because that has always been the thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to give everyone the chance. And that's the reason why I also do this for free. It costs you nothing. However, if you wanted my time for yourself, that would be a very different situation. Do you think, Steve?
Yes, I mean, I've suggested to you in the past that you do that. I mean, it may be something you'll relook at in the future. But at the moment, Mr. Duncan doesn't do that.
No.
Ola says, did you read your email today? Maybe, I don't think you've had time to look at emails today, have you, Mr.
I haven't
Duncan?
looked at my email. I can't see the question or the...
I think it might not be addressed to you, but
I see.
it could be. Of course, it could be to do with your. It could be to do with your game here. So the question could be: did you read your email today? I will do it in a moment.
Ah, yes.
I'm beginning to think that there are actual questions to you now, Mr. Duncan, instead of questions to your word game.
You see, this is what I feared would happen as this game went on. I was slightly worried that Steve would start thinking that these are actual questions.
And I am. I've forgotten we were playing the word game, and I thought they were actual questions.
So here we are at the...
Oh.
Now, can you see what I mean about social distancing? Steve keeps forgetting. He was walking around town last week, and he just keeps going up to people and giving them hugs and kisses on the chin. But Steve, we're in social distancing. Could you please stop doing that?
Anna says, why haven't you made the coffee? I'm guessing it's still the word game.
It
so
is.
The answer is, I will do it in a moment.
Yes, I'll do it in a moment. I will do it in a moment. So in this sense, doing something is any task. I will do it in the moment. I will do it in the moment. So quite often we will ask a person why they haven't done something, but we won't often ask why they haven't done it. You won't say, why haven't you done it? You will ask in a more polite way. Oh, don't forget the the washing. Those dirty dishes, they need washing, if you don't mind. And then you will reply with, I will do it in a moment. So sometimes a request, the reply that you get, Steve, depends on the way you ask it in the first place.
That's correct. So, yes, if you ask it in a nasty way, have you done your homework yet?
Oh, okay.
Somebody might say, oh, I'll do it in a moment.
Yes.
Or if you asked it in a nice way. But you might prefix that statement with, sorry, I will do it in a moment.
Yes.
If you might say, oh, did you remember to pick up the sugar for your mother? Oh, sorry, I forgot. I will do that in a moment.
That's it.
So you could modify that reply.
That's it. So that's more polite.
That's more polite.
So quite often if you ask someone to do something in a harsh way, you must always expect the reply to be equally as harsh. So sometimes people lose their temper, especially parents maybe with their teenage daughter or son. So that the parent will get angry. And of course, the reply will also be given in anger.
Sergio says...
Oh,
sorry, what were you going to say, Mr. Duncan?
no, carry on.
I think Sergio's being... well, could you please shed light on your endless wisdom, Lord Duncan?
Me?
I think that's slightly sarcastic.
I will do it in a moment.
Your reply would be, I'll do it in a moment.
Yes. One day, maybe. It will happen one day, I'm sure. I'm sure there is somewhere in my brain, there is at least one little piece of wisdom lying there asleep, having a very long hibernation period in my brain. So maybe one day I will say something that has meaning, and maybe it will change the world forever.
Yes, and very good. A lot of people have made some very good suggestions. Yes.
When will you stop watching Mr. Duncan? That's a good one. I will do it in a moment.
Have you made your bed?
Oh,
I
yes.
will do it in a moment.
Yes. Have you cleaned your teeth?
I will do it in a moment.
Have you had your bath? I know. I suppose I don't. You wouldn't do a bath, would you? You wouldn't do a bath. You would take a bath. I will
Yep.
take. So maybe you would say, have you had a bath yet? And you would say, I will take one in a moment. So you wouldn't say, I would do it. You don't do a bath. If you sit in the bath to soak your body in the water, you will have a bath or take a bath. I'm sure Steve has at least 3 sarcastic comments.
I'm saying nothing, Mr.
Okay,
Duncan.
then.
I've already revealed too much about your feet today. I'm
Ali,
not going to reveal anything about your personal
Ali.
hygiene.
Ali Hamo is getting impatient. He wants to. Maybe this is also part of the game. So even I'm being misled.
Ah,
Ali says, "Can you show us the next sentence, please?" I will do it in a moment.
very
Oh,
good.
I like that. That's one of my favourites.
Favourites? You shouldn't have favourites with your pupils, Mr. Duncan.
You're talking all over my applause.
You shouldn't
Yes.
have favourites,
I
Mr.
like-
Duncan.
no,
That will, you know what it's like when a teacher has
No,
favourites.
I didn't say the favourite.
I know I'm joking. I'm
Yes,
joking.
okay then. But I like that. Yes, that's quite clever though. I like that. Mr. Duncan, when are you going to give us the next sentence?
Maybe. Well, when are you going to give us the next sentence?
I will do it in a moment.
How about now?
Okay.
It's gone on for far too long, Mr. Duncan, and it's already 5 to 4.
Don't worry about it. Well, I came on late. I was 7 minutes late today.
No comment.
No, I was rushing around. I was in the garden. Trying to film Mr. Steve's new grass. Yes, it's true. Steve now has his little lawn. And yes, the grass seed that Steve planted a few days ago has now started to come up. There it is. Isn't that lovely? Mr. Steve is now the proud parent of a new lawn.
13 days ago, and it took 11 days to come up.
Look at that. It's Mr. Steve's new lawn. It is now starting to grow. So next weekend, I'm sure you know what I'm going to do next weekend, Steve.
Oh, are we going to have a weekly progress?
We are going to have a weekly progress of Mr. Steve's new lawn. So next week, I bet you can't wait. I am pretty sure that next week you will be waking up extra early. You will be up, you will have your breakfast, you will sit there patiently waiting to find out the latest news from Mr. Steve's new lawn. Wow. I bet you can't wait until next Sunday.
Get on with it, says Sergio.
Oh, okay then. I will get on. I will get on with it. Here's the next one, Steve. This is also a question that I am now going to give you the answer to. So this is the reply. What I need, Steve, is the question.
I'm not sure. I might be busy then.
Yes.
Is my
or
reply to what?
I'm not sure. I might be busy then.
Well,
So there it is. That is the reply to a question. So what I want you to do is give me the question. So you are once more asking a person. Now I think in this case we are looking for information. So the person is asking for information. They are trying to find out whether a certain situation will or will not be occurring. So you are asking a question. It is interrogative. It is an interrogative question. You are asking directly for some information. So the answer to that is, I'm not sure. I might be busy then. What is the question?
Valentina's come up with the first reply. Well done.
Wow.
Well, Lewis was very quick after that.
Wow.
I mean, not that it's a competition,
No.
but Valentina says, will you call me tomorrow? And the answer is, I'm not sure. I might be busy then.
Yeah, brilliant. That's a
Or
good one.
Lewis says, could you help me? I'm not sure. I might be busy then.
Yes. Normally, we are talking about a certain time. So in this respect, we are asking a person if they are going to be available at a certain time. So that means that the question must also relate to time, a certain period of time, maybe this afternoon, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week.
Yeah, so Ola, her question is, shall we go to the cinema after work?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I might be busy then. Yes, that's more specific. So
that's good.
You've said a specific time when you want something to happen, and you've asked a question.
Yes.
So you've made it more specific in terms of a time, which is after work.
Yes.
So I might be busy then means that the question would have had some kind of time frame in it.
Yes,
definitely.
definitely.
You could have said, would you like to go to the cinema with me on Tuesday night? And your reply might be, I'm not sure, I might be busy then.
Yes. So
I'll let you know.
So the question always, with this reply, the question always contains a certain time period. You are asking if a person is able to do something, if they are able to do something at a certain time. So it's very clear from this reply. What you can actually take from this reply is that you are asking a question about a person's availability or whether or not they will be free at a certain time.
Ali's got a good reply.
Okay.
Would you like to go to a football game next Saturday with me? Well done. I'm not sure. I might be busy then.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You specified a time, which is what this question requires in order for that answer to be correct.
So we normally ask the question in a very specific way, as Steve said, a very specific way. You are asking a question relating to a certain period, quite often a time of day or maybe a day of the week, but not normally anything longer than that. So you wouldn't say, are you free next month? Because most people aren't busy for the whole month. So you might be busy for an hour or maybe an evening or maybe for a whole day or even the weekend. But normally we don't normally say, will you be free next month? Because of course next month is 30 days or 31 days. So most people are free at some point during the month. So it is unusual to say, will you be free next month? Unless, of course, you are talking in a business sense. So we will quite often, it's interesting this, Steve, there is a difference. Quite often in business, you might ask a person if they will be free next month because maybe you want to visit them for 2 or 3 days. So you need a much longer period of time to see this person or to spend time with them doing something. Maybe you have to travel there. Maybe they have to travel to you. So in business, quite often we will talk about long periods of time concerning a person being free. But in general conversation, it's normally later that day or tonight or maybe tomorrow or the weekend. Not normally a month.
Short time frames.
Yes, or even a year. So you don't say, are you going to be free next year? And we rarely say, are you going to be free next month? Unless, of course, it's business.
Yes, you would then say, when are you free next month?
Yes.
If the period of time is longer, the question then would be, when are you free to see me next month? Whereas this is that answer requires a short-term question.
Yes.
Are you free tomorrow evening? Says Maria. The answer. That would be a correct question to the answer. I'm not sure. I might be busy then.
Yes. So it's a specific time, not normally a time period that is longer than maybe a day or 2 days. So we often think of the weekend. So that, I think that is one of the most common ones, Steve, when you're asking if a person is available. Quite often, I would imagine in my brain that quite often you are asking about a person's availability at the weekend. I think it must be quite a common question.
You've got to be specific in what you say. You can't just say, "Can you help me with something?"
Yes, because we're not specifying, we're not saying when.
Or later.
So
you can't say, you couldn't have later in the question. You've got to say, would you like to go and take some exercise with me at 6 o'clock? Or after work. You've got to be a bit more specific if you're going to use that as your reply. Could you drop by my house tomorrow? Says Jin. And that is correct, because your reply could be, I'm not sure, I might be busy.
Yes. So because we are saying then, we are definitely replying to a certain time period, something that has been mentioned in the question. I'm not sure. I don't know. I might be busy then.
Yes. So a Nicat or Nicat has said, shall we meet at 2 o'clock tomorrow? Very specific, and your reply could be, if you don't know, I'm not sure, I might be busy then. But then you would normally say after that, I'll let you know. I'm not sure, I might be busy then, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. Thanks for your company today. We've almost come to the end, Steve. I can't believe how fast the time has gone.
It's 4:05.
Yes, it's 4:05, even though I was late by 7 minutes. So we still have a little bit more time. Let's have a look at the live chat before we go.
Noemi has got a good one as well. The question, are you going to the party tomorrow? Oh, I'm not sure, I might be busy then. Is a good... you're being specific. You're talking about a specific time period tomorrow. Yeah, that's well done. Well done. It's a very good replies.
Yes.
The key point of that particular word game is that you've got to be, if you're going to use that reply, you've got to be specific in the time that you specify in your question.
So to be specific means you are pinpointing something to a very particular point. You are being specific. It's a great word. Some people mispronounce that word, Steve. They say Pacific instead of specific. So you have specific, that means a certain thing. You pinpoint something at a certain time. You focus on something. You are very specific. And then there is the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. You are being specific. So you can hear there is definitely a difference in the pronunciation of those words.
Lots of people asking if you're going to be on tomorrow, so you better be clear about that.
I'm not on tomorrow. No, we are back with the 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday and Friday. So you will not see me until Wednesday, 2 p.m. UK time with my English Addict lesson. So my English Addict live lessons are Sunday, Wednesday and Friday. However, Steve, can you see what's happening there?
Because Mr. Duncan does love doing his live stream. So you never know. Mr. Duncan might just feel that he is bored. Not bored is the wrong word.
No, not bored.
Mr. Duncan might just want to do it because he loves doing live streams.
I do. I love doing it.
So you never know. Mr. Duncan may just pop up. A couple of very topical... can I just mention 2 other answers to your word game?
Okay.
A couple of very topical ones. Mohammed has said, could you make live stream tomorrow? Mario says, could we have an online meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock?
Oh, yes. I'm not sure.
Done.
I'm not sure. I might be busy then.
Will you contact us at Zoom today at 8 o'clock? Yes. So lots of people are communicating online. Zoom is the popular one everyone's talking about at the moment.
I'll tell you something, Steve. If you're going to have shares, in a company at the moment, I would say any form of telecommunications, especially something like Zoom or maybe Skype. There are other ones as well out there. We're not promoting those things.
It's too late to buy the shares now. They've already gone up. We should have bought them. We should have bought them 3 months ago.
Damn it. Well, if only we knew way back in January that all this was going to happen, Steve.
I know. Well, hindsight is a wonderful thing.
Well, actually, I was being slightly sarcastic.
Oh, right.
Because we kind of did know.
Well, I mean, yes, but you know what I mean.
No, I wasn't being sarcastic to you. I was being sarcastic about how slowly we reacted.
I can't keep up with the live chat at the moment, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah.
In fact, it's disappeared. It's gone quite well today, but finally the live chat has disappeared.
Yes, that's it.
It's not working. It's broken, Mr. Duncan.
No, it hasn't broken. I hope you haven't deleted or blocked anyone or taken anyone's moderator status away.
Mr. Duncan thinks that I accidentally took away Lewis's moderator status last Sunday, which I was at one point stabbing away at the screen.
Yes.
So I didn't realise I had the power to be able to do this.
Yes, well, you're using the same channel. You have the same ability to do things as I do because you're using my YouTube channel on the phone. And this is something Steve has done. Who remembers the very sad story about Mr. Steve blocking Palmyra? So Steve in the past has actually blocked my viewers accidentally
because
with his big fingers.
I don't know what I'm trying to get the live chat to come up, and unfortunately, because it's a mobile device, it only stays on for some certain period of time and then it disappears. So you've got to keep constantly. You've got to come up with a new system for me, Mr. Duncan. And now the live chat has completely disappeared, and I don't know why.
No,
I can't get it to come back up. So I'd love to see the last comments that people are making. In fact, my picture seems to keep freezing.
Are we going to have the jazz in Paris? Well, I suppose we could. Would you like to dance with me, Steve?
What, now?
No. Well, yes.
I don't know what I've done, Mr. Duncan, but I've got something coming up on here saying live stream starts in 40 seconds, 42 seconds, 41:40. I've no idea what I've done. No idea what I've done here, Mr. Duncan. Well, I think I've pulled up your live stream from last week. See, I have no idea. When it comes to technology, I hate touch screens.
Yes.
If there's one thing I hate, it's touch screens.
So basically, I don't know what you're doing.
I've no idea what I'm doing.
Okay, Steve. If you can hear the music, Steve, you can join in and dance. We're going to have a little dance before we finish, you see. And I want you to have a little go as well. So are you ready to move your body?
Okay.
No, stay where you are. That's it. Don't get up, because all we will see is your crotch.
Well, I wasn't going. I'm not that stupid, Mr. Duncan.
No one wants to see Mr. Steve's crotch.
Are there still comments coming through? I haven't cut us off, have I? Do you want to check that?
It looks as if we're still on.
Away at the screen.
Well, I'm not. How can I check? You're over there.
No, if you check the live stream from where you are.
Yes, it's working.
Good. That's what I wanted to know.
Just you and your big banana fingers.
You've got to get me something more reliable than a touch screen phone.
All things, Steve. Have you noticed technology? All technology has touch screens.
Yes, and it's incredibly annoying.
Yes. Well, you're not going to do very well with any technology.
Well, I'm going to buy. That's why I'm not going to buy a new car anymore, because they've all got touch screens and they're a nightmare to operate.
What have you done?
I don't know. I don't know what I've done, Mr. Duncan.
Steve, what have you done?
We're not social distancing.
It's gone.
I know. I think it's your phone.
Oh, I see.
You see, I do this all the time, me and technology. See, I like a button. I like a good, nice button to press.
God.
So when I retire, whenever that is, I shall buy an old car.
Steve.
I don't need it now, Mr. Duncan, it's all right. I shall buy an old car that's got push buttons everywhere and not a screen in sight. I don't like cars where you've got to push a button. My car at the moment, I've got to start the engine, I've got to push a button on the dashboard.
I know one thing, you're definitely pushing my buttons.
It's just annoying. You just stuck a key in and went like that to start your car before. It was so easy. And now you have to put the key somewhere, and then you have to push this button, then you have to push it again, and sometimes it doesn't work. It's so annoying. Just a key, turn it on, ignition, you're gone. Sometimes I'm having a rant now. Technology takes a backward step sometimes.
There it is, Steve, see, there it is. Live chat.
Are we back?
Yeah. Well, we didn't go away.
I don't know what happened.
You went away.
Oh, well, that's better. The live chat being
okay, Steve.
In a separate part. Go on, off you go.
We're
Back to your studio.
We're doing overtime now.
Back to your studio. It's just
my,
in there.
My shirt looks blue on the...
That's because you set the colour balance all
no,
wrong.
but it's all right on there. It's okay on there.
But it's your silly phone.
You look red. Your face is so red. It looks like you've been drinking.
It does. I can't wait to watch it later. This is how I like to look at the live. Yes, this is better. See, he never sets me up properly. He was rushing today, and he blames me. But in fact, he was rushing around and didn't set it up properly for me.
Oh dear, this is so exhausting. Everyone's going anyway.
I think everyone's gone.
Everyone's gone. I think it's just you and me, Steve. It's just...
We're talking about... No, there's still 173 people watching.
Oh, okay. And you're pleased with that, are you?
Are we going then?
Well, no.
Oh, we're going to have the dance.
Yes. Remember 3 minutes ago when I said, do you want to have a dance? We're going to have a dance, and you can all join in as well. So we're going to have a little dance. We are going to share a moment that may never happen again, ever, in the history of humanity. We are going to have a little dance. This is Jazz in Paris, and feel free to join in. I hope Steve can hear the music, because he's a bit deaf, you see. I think he's losing his hearing.
Pardon?
I'm definitely getting Steve. Next Christmas, I'm going to buy Steve one of those big ear trumpets that you put in your ear. Or just go to the beach and bring back a big seashell, maybe. Here we go then. Are you ready, Steve?
I'm ready.
We're going to have some Jazz in Paris after 3. 1, 2, 3.
Well, that was fun, Mr. Duncan.
Was that fun?
I could barely hear it.
Well, you were moving in time, which, to be honest with you, even if you could hear the music, you were probably going to be out of time anyway.
I'm a very good dancer. In my younger youth, I used to attract all the beautiful people to watch me dance.
Steve, you've got an interesting shade of purple.
I told you I wasn't very well. Well, ta-ta, everyone. I'll go, and then I'll let Mr. Duncan wrap up.
Yes, I'm going to wrap up. Definitely. It's time for a cup of tea and a tea cake, I believe.
Definitely. I shall go and prepare that now. And I will see you all next week.
Catch you later, Steve.
Bye.
That's Mr. Steve, everyone. He's going now. Bye, Mr. Steve. He's gone. He's left the building. Well, he's left. He's left the live stream, let's just say. It's almost time for me to go. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed your little dance. I will be back with you on Wednesday. However, you know me. If you know me well, you will know sometimes I like to pop up on the internet. It's a little bit like what I was doing yesterday. I was watching people popping up on Periscope. And there was a lovely guy, a very nice, gentle, kind person showing us around one of his local parks in Japan. And I loved it. I was quite enthralled. Enthrall. If you enthrall someone, you draw them in. You draw them in. They become interested in what you are doing. So I felt enthralled by the live stream that I watched yesterday on Periscope. Thank you very much. Thank you to Beatrice, Connell. Thank you, Valeria. Thank you also, Anapika, Malia. Thanks a lot for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Wow, 2 hours and 10 minutes today you got. Amazing. See you later. See you on Wednesday once again. Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 p.m. UK time. But you never know. You never know. You know how I like to pop up sometimes unannounced. So who knows? I might suddenly pop up later, maybe tonight. Will you be able to join me later on tonight for a live stream? I'm not sure. I might be busy then. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of the English language saying thank you for watching me talking to you live right here from England. And of course, until the next time we meet here on YouTube, which will probably be Wednesday. Wednesday at 2 p.m. UK time. And of course, until the next time, you know what's coming next. I'm going to give you a little wave with my hand like that. Or maybe I could wave like this, like the Queen of England. This is how the Queen waves as she is driving by all of her subjects. Oh, how lovely to say goodbye to you all. Ta-ta for now.